Producer Clark tells me that we do have Bill Lindsay. And Bill, you're in South Florida, I believe. We're in South Florida, obviously.
Yep.
How you doing, Bill? Welcome to the show. Good to see you, my man.
I'm doing good. Actually, I had a charity golf tournament today with Steve Goldstein puts it on, the play-by-play voice for the Florida Panthers. So out here with a bunch of people, and actually got to play golf with Jason Taylor today, one of the most famous linebackers in Dolphins history. So had a treat out here today, and nice to join you guys.
Well, and he's a broadcaster, too. I was listening to him on the Dolphins game yesterday. But, Bill, look, I got to get to the bottom of this. Big Fork, Montana, or Fernie, BC? What is it? Why is you're listed as being from two different places? What's the story?
Fernie, British Columbia is where I was born and raised. I have dual citizenship. My parents are American, and I was born in Fernie. When I went to Saskatoon to play for the World Junior Championships or Team USA, didn't have a chance to play for Team Canada, but because of my dual citizenship, they asked me to play for Team USA, and they asked me where I was from, and I said Big Fork, Montana, because I was American. But they assumed, and everyone from there, no one asked any questions, and they thought, well, I guess that's where he was born, but that's not the case. I grew up as Canadian. I was born in Fernie, British Columbia. That's where I spent most of my time. That's where I learned to play hockey. And as far as hockey goes, I'm Canadian through and through. I did have a chance to play for the U.S. in a couple of World Championships, World Junior type stuff, but I still consider myself, as far as background, Fernie, British Columbia, and Canadian heritage.
Well, we're proud to have you, but it's a hell of a story, man. And I might contact Wikipedia on your behalf as a proud Canadian to get that Fernie thing put on your Wikipedia. Listen, Bill, I've been down here 3 days. I'm going to be here a while. They are excited about these Florida Panthers. Very excited. Do you match that enthusiasm going into this season?
Yes, I do. They built it up. They've got a really good team. The playoff series against Tampa Bay last year, something that they can build off, something that they can learn from. It was an incredible season. 27 years it took for the Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning to finally meet in the playoffs. And the Battle of the Sunshine State really took on another level. That's good for hockey down here in South Florida. And watching that series firsthand, I thought it was incredible, toe-to-toe, and the Panthers hung in there. They had to use 3 goaltenders. That's a problem. They've got to find someone that can stop the puck, and they got to have consistency in net. But as far as their forwards are concerned, defensemen, they are deep, they can push, and they should be there. The good thing for the Panthers this year is that they've been battling to get into the playoffs year in and year out, but now it looks like they're in a position now. It's not about getting in the playoffs. It's what can you do once you get in the playoffs.
Well, absolutely, and I'm sure you thought about it 6 ways from Sunday in this offseason, but what did they need to do to beat Tampa in that 7th game? Or did the right team win? I guess the right team won because they went on to win the Stanley Cup, but what could they have changed, do you think? Have you thought about it?
Not using 3 goaltenders in one series. That was the biggest thing. If you looked at it, we got to Vasilevsky more than any other team. We had some games that were run and gun, but when it mattered most, Vasilevsky was able to shut the door, and we went through Bobrovsky, and then we went through Drieger, and then finally Spencer Knight, the young kid, and that got a chance. So you can't use 3 goaltenders in a playoff series and expect to come out on the winning end. They got to have some guys that, once the playoffs are there, that are going to stop the puck, and if they do that, then maybe they advance. And they have the talent. If you look at every position, they're deep. Bill Zito's done a tremendous job bringing players in. Sam Reinhart's a new addition coming on. Sam Bennett at the trade deadline. And Joel Quenneville has a multitude of options up front with what he can do with this lineup. He can put guys at center. He can put guys on the 4th line, 3rd line. It's just a really deep hockey team. And the defensemen, not as many giveaways. Keith Yandel was one of those guys that was prone to giveaways, and they've got him out of here. And Mackenzie Weegar really stepped to the forefront. Aaron Ekblad, coming off that injury, was having a Norris-type season last year. So all the pieces are in place. The only question mark is who's going to be the goaltender, who's going to stand up in goal. But if they get that answered, this is one of the deepest clubs in the NHL.
I was actually just going to ask you that, and I'm looking through this Florida roster, by the way. I mean, Bill, I remember you. You would have been a pain in the ass to play against. You were. That was kind of the hallmark of your 16-year career. Carter Verhaeghe, is a lot of Panthers fans' favorites. Would you draw any comparisons between your game and his? Or is there any Bill Lindsays on this Florida lineup?
There are some. Carter Verhaeghe's emerged as more of a goal scorer than I have, and that's really good. Bill Zito did a deep dive on analytics as far as Verhaeghe goes. He scored at the junior level, scored at the American Hockey League level, and they figured that if he put in the right situation that he could do it at the NHL level, and he was able to do that. Played a lot with Barkov last year, and they had a ton of chemistry. So maybe a notch above as far as goal scoring Verhaeghe, but guys like Noel Acciari, Ryan Lomberg is a guy that doesn't get talked about a lot, but really was on the taxi squad, and he really lit a fire on this Panther team as far as the fourth line goes. He was everywhere, fought everyone, scored a big overtime winner in the playoffs, and it's those kind of guys that kind of add the extra depth, the extra layer that the Panthers haven't had in the past. It's a grind mentality. So you have guys on that third and fourth line that are going to pay a price. And Patrick Hornquist was a big deal last year. He comes over, he's won a couple of Stanley Cups, but him and himself as leadership was able to change that dressing room with his approach, his consistency to the game. Joel Quenneville raved about him. So now you bring in Joe Thornton, another veteran. The locker room was the biggest problem. The on-ice product wasn't great, but the locker room. And I was there when we went to that Stanley Cup run. We had a really cohesive locker room. We were more committed for the guy beside us than we were for himself. We did not want to let whoever was beside us down. So that is what they've got going on in the dressing room. And once you have that, then you've got a chance to really compete for a Stanley Cup. They've really changed the dynamics in the dressing room.
Well, just two quick last questions before I let you get back golfing. But just, again, I've only been down here a few days, but that 96 Panthers team, Bill, has come up every day. Like, I mean, you're not the 72 Dolphins, but in hockey, that people still talk about that, man. Does it come up every day to you?
It comes up a lot, and that's something that has to change because we haven't won a playoff series since 96. And it was good. We put hockey on the map. It was a fun place to come. It was explosive down here. Miami Arena was loud. Everyone was into it, and it was a fun run with those guys. And it was special for that time. But there's been a lot of seasons, a lot of losing, and they've started to turn the corner. So it's asked about a lot. But this Panther team now is really talented, more talented than the team that we had in 96, and they're poised to make some noise in the playoffs. And that's what is exciting for me down here. 96, that has to be it's great and everything, and I appreciate it and what we went through as a team, but it has to be a memory. This team has to start to create a new legacy, new success, and it starts with Barkov winning the Selke Trophy, Quenneville up for Coach of the Year, Bill Zito up for General Manager of the Year. Those type of stuff is stuff that we haven't seen for a long time down here in South Florida. So they're starting to move in the right direction. This team is talented. We get asked a lot about 96, but it's been a long time since 96, a long, long time. So even people like the 20s, the 30-year-olds, they don't even remember that time. So this team has to have some playoff success, create some new memories, and really generate that vibe down here in South Florida.
Last one's a real quick one. Who plays more games this year in goals? I'm a goalie guy, a goalie myself, bit of a stickler. Sergei Bobrovsky or Spencer Knight? Who plays more games this year?
Bobrovsky is going to play more games. Spencer Knight's going to be under the tutelage, and we'll see what happens once it comes playoffs times. But with Bobrovsky, they're still with 2 Vezina trophies. He puts a lot of work with it. Between the years, it's mental. He's got to be able to figure it out mentally. And if he does that, then they still think that he can get back to that Vezina trophy form. Spencer Knight's going to learn a lot from Bobrovsky. But we'll see as the season goes on if Spencer Knight develops and he pushes Bobrovsky and shows that he's capable, then he might have a chance down the stretch. But the immediate plan from everything that I'm hearing is that they want to give Bobrovsky every chance to return to that Vezina trophy form. And he's got a chance. He's got a good team in front of him. There's no more excuses for him. So this is the third year of the contract, the big year of the contract. And if he is going to return to that form, this is the year. If he doesn't do it this year, then it's not going to happen down here in South Florida.
Makes sense. They're paying him, and they want to get their money's worth out of him. Bill, big fan, as you know. I hope I showed that. I enjoy the day, and hopefully we can do it again one day.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry about the phone here, the quality, but I appreciate you guys having me on and just giving the Panthers and everything. And it's going to be a fun hockey season, short turnaround, and the NHL is, with the athletes today, is about as good as it's ever been. So it's going to be an exciting season, and thank you very much.
You bet. All right, bud. Thank you for the time. Bill Lindsay, Panthers alum and color commentator, joining us on the RP show today, Canada's daytime sports talk show, which oddly is coming to you from South Florida with South Florida guests. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of the Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.